I'm live. So, the question is that true? It says I'm live. So, hello, folks. Let's see who's in here. And let's see if we're really live. If I see any comments, then I'll know we're live. But I see some of you are here. So, leave some comments and then I'll know it's actually working. So, let me just bring up the comments here. Hello, jellyfish. Savvy, you haven't been here for a while. AMG, Furlutzi, and Tire Myers early, and of course losing Boomerang is also very early. And I'm like I have like two screens here. I'm not broadcasting on Periscope. I have two screens on YouTube, so I can see what's going on. Hello, Locutus Borg. Stream Elements is not a person. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Lenny PR, Jellyfish. When will we see you in the YouTube studio? Well, I sent them a yes, I'm live. Look who's aboard. I sent them a application, and then I have to go through a kind of like a orientation program, I guess. And then in theory I can start using the space, but do I really need to use the big studio? Actually, I could just sit in the lobby and do a broadcast, because it's just a talking head kind of thing. So I don't really need to but just psychologically it's different when you do it at YouTube. So yes. So hello, Mahuko. Mahuko is new. Hello. Faraz. Hello, Faraz. So Mr. Tommy Islands. You know what? One thing, if you're new to my broadcast, if you're new to my channel, you may not know this, but I have, hello, Mama Goo. I have a kind of a photographic memory with names of people, and then I can like recognize if you made a comment before, and I kind of remember. And I associate a personality to each name I see. Hello, Pat's fan. Some of you have been following me for many years, and some of you, like Pat's fan, has been around many years. So an AMG and so on. So Savvy's been around for a long time too. Hello, Jay. Yes. So, for those of you who don't know this, I have been broadcasting, live streaming primarily on Periscope for, I guess, close to 5 years now, almost 5 years. And this is my first year on YouTube. So on YouTube, I've been here, January, like mid-January was my first year that I've done anything. So we're here in February. So about a year and 1 month. So a year, 1 month of activity, and now we're at 10K. Now, you might say, "Wow, that's pretty amazing." Well, I do have 30 plus thousand followers on Periscope, so it's not too incredible, but on Periscope, those 30,000 people disappeared. In fact, they're not on YouTube. The number of people from my Periscope channel that's on YouTube is probably under 1,000. So the majority of people that are on YouTube are actually new to me, and this is so exciting because I'm reaching to a whole group of people. Now, what I'd like to do is reach to those 30,000 that used to follow me on Periscope and hope they find me on YouTube. They may not, but hopefully they'll find me on YouTube and come back here, and then so we can easily reach 100,000, because we had such a big group on Periscope back in the day. So that's really exciting. Thank you, Pat's fan. Thank you, guys. You actually don't see the actual number. The number is actually higher than what it shows there. It shows on my channel, I believe it shows 10.1. And the actual number is closer to 10.3. So I'm really way past 10. And maybe next broadcast, next live stream, next Friday, we'll be talking about 11K. So it's going so fast. It's growing so fast, and it's kind of like the old Periscope days. So it's really, really good. So I appreciate it, and it's all because of you, and I appreciate it. There's something that I'm talking about that you like, and you're showing up, and I'm really appreciative, and I would like to know what that is. And tonight I like to dedicate a big portion of the time to find out what it is that brings you here, so I can do more of that, because it's a little bit different with my original channel, and I'll tell you a little bit of the history here and where it is now, because obviously a lot of you came here because of phones, and that wasn't my main thing in my old channel, and that kind of changed, and I just want to give you a little bit of history. 10K gift from you. There's no gift, Jay. Nobody gives you a gift. If you think YouTube gives you any kind of gift, no. You have to work hard to do it. So thank you, AM. Thank you, Pat's fan. And thank you, Lenny PR. Thank you, Starlight. Thank you. I've never heard of Periscope until I heard Rob mention that YouTube is only so-called social networking platform I use. Well, Lakuta Zaborg, Periscope is owned by Twitter. So when I say Periscope, it's the live streaming part of Twitter. Twitter owns Periscope. So we were originally on Periscope before Twitter used it inside Twitter itself. It was kind of a separate platform. And I started on Periscope, and I honed my live streaming skills on well, you might as well get a history here, since we're talking about being at 10K here. I started on Periscope about 5 years ago, and let me tell you, the first few months I was doing Periscope, I didn't even show my face, and I was lucky to get 20 viewers per broadcast. And mostly I was playing music, because I played jazz, and I was playing jazz, and I didn't really know what to talk about. And then I built up enough of a following that just, people making friends on Periscope. And then, about 6 months later, I started to get to my first 1,000 subscribers, followers on Periscope. And then it blew up, and then it blew up, and it blew up because I ranted. For those of you who don't know me, I actually rant a lot. And there's one of you on my live stream, on my videos, that say don't feed the trolls, and you're uncomfortable when I rant. Well, unfortunately, that's the way I gain my popularity on Periscope, is because I'm a big ranter. In fact, every broadcast, every live stream I did was a rant. And, I was famous for my rants. I got a lot of followers from my rants, because I'm very upfront and will tell you how it is. And many people didn't like it, and many people did. So, I'm trying to just be what I am. I don't have to turn myself into something I'm not. The fact of the matter is, I am a ranter, and I don't rant much on my videos. And that is a different thing, because I had to learn that, folks. So when I did my videos about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago now, a year and a month ago, because I was actually doing, I rebroadcast or streamed some of my Periscope streams on YouTube before a year ago, but that doesn't really count, because I wasn't really pushing YouTube at all. I was just doing my normal Periscope things, and I did a few broadcasts in December to test it out. And then back in January in 2019, I actually went full bore and actually made videos, and I didn't know a zucking thing about making videos. So if some of you have followed me from Periscope knows, it's a very different thing to do videos and to do live stream. Live stream, I'm very comfortable with live stream, and I can do live stream all day, and you know, and my live streams can last for hours, as you all know, because I can talk a lot, and making a video is different because you got to compact everything into what, 15 minutes, or YouTube wants it to be longer now, so I'm making 20-minute videos, and it's a new thing. I'm not. It's not something I've known to do, but I learned fast. So in my old age, I had to learn something new, and I can do it. So if you don't have any history about me, so some of you who are new to my channel, let me again give you a little bit of history about who I am. If you've not been here before, I did not do any live streaming before Periscope. I've never been on social media. I have been incognito on the internet for many years, without using any kind of famous identity, but I was on the internet a lot. I've been on the internet since the beginning of the internet, and I've been on tons of forums, but I never used the same identity, and they're not connected to my current identity right now. So I've been around a long time talking about different topics. So, and I've been on the internet mostly, practicing what I preach, which was something that by default I knew I had to do, which was to be pseudo-anonymous. So that's one of the terms that you should know, is pseudo-anonymity. So I became pseudo-anonymous on the internet since the very beginning, and I've been on the internet on different topics. Doesn't matter what the topic is, I'm on there. I don't usually go to tech kind of things, because I don't really need to prove my tech knowledge. For some of you who have known me or know me and have doubt about my technical knowledge, well, finally I posted my stuff on GitHub, so you can see my code that I put up on GitHub. So if you search for Rob Braxman, github.com/Rob Braxman, you'll see some of the code for Braxme and some of the stuff that I've done. So and that's just a minor thing of what I've done. I'm actually fairly well known in what I do in my industries, the ones that I worked with before I went and did YouTube. I was one of the first developers of electronic health records, and Bill Gates was demonstrating my product in, my goodness, 1992. So he was demonstrating my product in a kind of like when Steve Jobs does it at an Apple event. Well, they were doing that back in the Microsoft events in Comdex. It's called Comdex way back then. And Bill Gates was actually demonstrating my product, and he may not have known who I was, and I've encounter him all the time. I mean, he's walking around next to me, but I never actually talked to Bill Gates. So, but he was right next to me wearing his football jersey, and very relaxed way back in the day. So yes, so one of my early things is medical systems, electronic health records, or back then called electronic medical records. And as you all know, many of you know me for my expertise in cybersecurity. And one of the reasons I became an expert in cybersecurity is because when those companies that had electronic health records on their systems, and they were often hacked, were often invaded by hackers, trying to get into their system. And when a big corporation has a problem with hackers and they don't have the expertise, they flew me in to go solve it. So I was the problem solver, aside from being the inventor of the product. When they had nowhere else to go, I was the top of the line. When dead end, when nobody else knew what to do, they called me. So I was like the end of the line, and obviously I always solved it. So whatever it was that was an issue, I was always there to solve it. So that became something that I had expertise on, and I definitely, was able to practice what I preach. Somebody would say, what do you know about cybersecurity? Do you know how to hack? Yes, I do know how to hack. Mostly I hack, my own systems and systems I own. And, and then if not that, then I will demonstrate hacking systems I do not own. But mostly I hack systems I own because I like doing it. It's part of the proof of concept that, I like to implement. And unlike most people, I actually sit around and think about how to attack something. And that developed into this skill of actually being able to see how you can attack any kind of system, which kind of built my cybersecurity skills over the years. And I've been doing it for so long that, obviously I've accumulated quite a bit of knowledge in it. I mean, I was doing IP spoofing, IP address spoofing. My goodness, I don't even remember when. It's over 20 years ago I was doing IP, maybe more than that. I was doing IP spoofing, writing C code to do a DDoS attack on someone who was attacking me, and I attacked them back with IP spoofing, and I attached the attack to somebody else because I don't want to be attacked. If I attack you back. So if somebody attacked me, I made them feel the pain. So that's something that my knowledge is very, very deep. I've developed every system you can imagine. Have you been sucked? Hello, Mark. How are you doing, Mark? What's going on, buddy? Galvano, Lenny J, Tony G. So let me see. Just Eagle Source. Who have I missed here? Just don't want to ignore it. Jim. Hello, Jim Thompson. Glenn F. See you. I don't want to play piano here, Jay, because if it's not my music, then they will demonetize me. So I'm trying to avoid doing music here. If I'm doing music, I'm doing it on Periscope. So Periscope will not do anything. So I put my Hello Starlight. So all of that is done on Periscope. So I'm just so you know, when I'm doing music, I'm going to do it on Periscope. So I do a lot of music, but like I did do a live broadcast on Periscope just last Tuesday. So if you want to watch, just go follow my Periscope account. And if you follow my Twitter, which is Rob Braxman Tech, then somebody will always post. I'm not able to, but somebody will always post some of the broadcasts that I do on Twitter. So anyway, I have a particular set of skills, and there's no doubt that I have the skills. And one of the things I did, after I left the medical records business back in 2012, I said, I want to get into something that concerns me, and the issue is privacy. I was very concerned about what I've been discovering. This is 8 years ago now. I was discovering all these dangers in sites like Facebook and Google and so on. Yes, Google, and here I am on Google. And with some caveats here, it's okay. So I've been studying what's going on and testing it myself, and I like to prove things myself, and people who follow me in Periscope know when I talk about something, then usually it's very accurate. And because I think like a programmer, so my understanding of what goes on with cybersecurity is often reflected in what I do. So I have a natural sense that if the technology exists to do one thing, then some bad guy will learn to use it and use it for bad things. So I know that, which is why I warn you in advance. And for those of you who have followed me on Periscope over the years, and for those of you who have even listened to me on AM radio, because I used to be frequently on WBZ radio in Boston, AM radio, and you would have heard me talk about the same things. And, I've been around, and although I'm new at YouTube, I'm not really that new. And what I talk about has been repeated over the years and mostly ignored. So nobody cares about what I say. It's a lifestyle, do nothing else. 99% of these please know and do nothing no matter what you share with them, dude. Oh, it's Huge T Bite. I know, it's too late, Huge T Bite. Let's see. How many followers do you have on Periscope currently? I think 30,000 plus. 30,000 plus on Periscope. 7,000 on Twitter. Although I'm not really much active on Twitter. I don't really do much on there. And I've deleted 90% of my posts on Twitter. So I don't really do much on there. So, but still I have 7,000 there. But I'm not attempting to grow my Twitter following. Mostly I'm just concentrating on here on YouTube. So with 57, okay, yes, as Twistman said, if you've been watching me so far, give us some love here by showing the algorithm that, and again, this is something you need to learn today. It's about the algorithm. The algorithm is the YouTube computer AI that decides if a channel is going to succeed or not, and they base it on some signals. And one of the signals is if you hit like. So, if you hit like on the video, the algorithm senses that, and you help my channel. And I really would appreciate it if you hit the like button or dislike. Just hit something to show an opinion, and that is really appreciated. And so the Pine Phone a go. Should we go buy one later? So actually no, Seth Rock. I'm gonna say for now, wait a bit on the Pine Phone and other options. For now, get a Nexus 5. So yes, I have very little of these Nexus 5. They go very fast. So I have to, I probably buy all the Nexus 5s in the world that's available for sale. So I have the Nexus 5s, and I install Ubuntu Touch on it, which is a Linux distro that is not made by Canonical. It's made by UBports, and I installed it on Ubuntu Touch, which is the same one that you would run on a Pine Phone. This is about probably a little faster than a Pine Phone right now, and because you can't buy a Pine Phone yet anyway, and a Pine Phone is not ready. But this actually runs, and if you want to get in the game, get yourself a Nexus 5. Go to my website at rob.brax.me. Now, Brax.me is my platform. It's an open source messaging, social media, privacy-focused social media where you don't have to identify yourself, and then you can go there to rob.brax.me or go to the Brax.me platform and search for Rob Braxman. Very easy to find me. Just go to people, search for Rob Braxman. You'll find me and say, click on my profile and you'll find the store, my own personal store at rob.brax.me, and then you can buy one of these. Now, if you want to set up your own profile on rob.brax.me, if you want to set up your own store, you can actually set up your own store on Brax.me. Brax.me is a open platform. Anyone can do it. So that's available for anyone else to sell anything they want. But anyway, these Nexus 5s are very hard to find. I think I only have 3 this week that I can sell. So I have 3 of these. I have 2 16 gigabytes and 1 32 gigabytes that I have. And that's it for this week. I don't have any more. And they go very fast, unfortunately. So if you want these, and you can see these are in very, very good condition. These are two 16 gigabyte ones, and they're actually in very good shape. I would rate this in the very good shape condition. They're extremely clean. If you want to see, they're very, very clean. So these are the two 16 gigabyte ones. I have one 32 gigabyte one. So you can save more money with a 16 gigabyte. I don't think you'll need more than 16 gigabytes, to be honest. I actually did the 32, and then, the whole point is not to put much stuff on it. And I didn't really feel the need to go beyond 16 gigabytes. So I have a spare one that I use for myself. And I also have a 1+1 where I do Lineage OS. So this is Lineage. This one here is Lineage OS. So now, why do I talk about this in my channel? And the reason is that I refer to these as privacy phones, because if you watch my videos and who's spying on your phone is basically a spy device. So this is an iPhone. And I don't like to take this outside of the house. This is not something that, it's actually dangerous to take us outside of the house, because even though Tim Cook said, what does Tim Cook say? iPhone is zucking privacy. Well, my answer to that is zuck that. iPhone is not privacy. Definitely Android is not. So this is not privacy. So if you want a zucking iPhone, keep it at home. Crap. Okay? I don't want a phone that I don't even think I own this. I bought this phone, but I don't think I own this. I mean, I can't really do anything to it. It's other than what Apple wants me to do with it. This is what they want. If you actually have one of these, this is a Pine phone. I own this. No one can tell me what to do with this. No one can tell me what to watch with this. There's no zucking censorship. There's no one forcing me to load any software. I can do bad things with it to myself, meaning install bad software. I can install good software. I zucking own it. It's my fault if I screw up. It is for me to decide. If I can write my own code, I have a code that I use for this, which is cybersecurity focused. And it kind of has an attack mentality. I can attack systems with it. I can load it on this. Nobody's there to stop me, because it's my phone. It's my phone. This is not my phone. When I use an iPhone, Apple has to decide, oh, you are too sensitive. You cannot be given content that you can't handle. So we won't give that to you. So we're going to block it and make sure that we understand it. It doesn't follow our guidelines. So this one has a filtered sense of performance. It's based on what Apple decides for you. Whereas on a Pine phone, I decide. No one can tell. I can do anything I want with this. In fact, I don't have to use it as a phone. I can use it as a router. It's actually a pretty cheap device for doing any kind of like Raspberry Pi type projects. And so there was one guy selling their Pine phone. So, I buy them all. You have a Pine phone to sell. These are actually well constructed. If you actually, one of the early comments about the Pine phone, Tim Cook, not the brightest bulb in the shed. Wow. One of the things that people worried about with the Pine phone was, is it well built? Well, okay, so it's so easy to open it, right? So as you know, I open it without a tool. You can just flip it open, and it's, to be honest with you, it's pretty well made. I was actually surprised. $150 device. Okay, now I have a 99 or 100 something dollar device from Amazon, and it's an Android phone, and it feels like plastic. I mean, it's like, feels cheap, and it is cheap. This is not cheap feeling. Not bad. Pine 64. It's heavy. It actually feels substantial. It's not. It doesn't feel like a piece of crap. But unfortunately, with the coronavirus, you can't even. The people who there's a bunch of people who didn't even get their phones and they ordered already. So unfortunately, they're a victim of the coronavirus, and the coronavirus is going to put a delay in this. So you may not even be able to get one, and as you know, the Pine phone is not ready yet. But it's going to be. So I am definitely looking forward to this. It's not going to be a problem. It's if you actually think about the early comparisons about this with the Librem 5, people thought that this would be like plasticky feeling and basically like a cheap phone kind of feel. No. Good job, Pine 64. I mean, really, this does not feel like a cheap phone. In fact, this is an Android 1+1. I would say this is better. Yeah, not bad. Okay, here's the Nexus. Now the Nexus is already working, so I like this Nexus. First of all, it is kind of it's a bit smaller, and you can install Ubuntu Touch, which is a Linux phone, and it's very standardized, and there's many things you can do with it. So for those of you who want to get into Linux phones right now and don't want to risk getting into Ubuntu Touch, Linux, a Pine phone yet, the Librem 5, get started, because this is a privacy phone, whereas it's it's as close as you can get at the moment to a privacy phone that's working without having to wait for the Librem 5 and the Pine 64. So, think for yourself. Do you really want to have a spy phone where this sucker knows everything you're doing and it's accumulating information about you every day? So a lot of you are not really thinking about what's really happening with your phones. So your phones are spying on you in a big way. I mean, this thing is recording everything that I do everywhere I go. As you know, it even tells you you're 5 minutes away from your destination. How the zuck do you know that? Okay? Anyone with an iPhone, you know that. And you say you don't care. And you're dumb to not to care, because that data is being sold. So in the video I'm going to tell you exactly why that's a big concern, because a third party can actually buy the data, your personal data, and get some history about your activities. And why do you want your personal data to be available to anyone who can pay, so they know exactly what you've done and what activities you've done for whatever purposes, to screen your employment, to blackmail you, to whatever? And I'm saying, zuck you, mother zuckers. We don't want that. Okay, so why so much futile energy? Don't know why you waste so much futile energy that can be spent blockchaining shit with me, dude. The problem, huge debate with blockchaining, is blockchaining leaves permanent evidence. Huge debate. Yes, we can work on blockchaining, but that is the problem with blockchaining. Blockchaining is a very easy concept. You do hashing, and it's very simple programming for me. But the problem is when you do blockchaining, like let me just talk about blockchaining for a second. There's a there's a messaging platform or a intermediary storage of messaging platform called Matrix. So Matrix being promoted by Purism. I know it's being used by many people on Ubuntu Touch. And this is an example of a platform where it's peer-to-peer, and there are multiple copies of your conversations. They may be encrypted, but there's metadata, and it's spread over peer-to-peer networks. So there's multiple copies of your conversations on many, many computers. You can't escape to show there's metadata with your IP address on it. Why does Zuck would I want that? So blockchain, one of the things that's nice about Brax.me, which is my messaging platform, is there's nothing. There's no Zuck in blockchain. You delete it, it disappears. It's a lockdown platform, so whatever you say on it, if it gets deleted, that is Zucking it. It's gone. Okay, I love it. That's why, I only communicate. Some of you, by the way, many of you, especially those who buy my products, talk to me on email. And I apologize for not responding because I try to avoid email if I can for your safety. I don't want to leave a metadata that shows that we've been communicating. So, dude, stop. Get real. Decentralizing real crypto can make shit. What? Not forever. Don't stay in a box like this, please. Okay, let me. That was hidden, so let me show you his post there. Oh gosh, you're funny. Okay, let's see. Every comment you make is being hidden by YouTube. Let me see if it blocks something else. It's blocking all your comments, you HD byte. It's blocking everything you're commenting. JXC. Goodness, let me just call you JXC. This is way out of my OPSEC. This is not what I'm defending against at all. So a dumb phone works wonders for me, while a smartphone I don't feel comfortable with. Yeah, but this is the real world, JXC. We need to access the internet. So we need to access the internet, JXC. So what the zuck do we do? So at the beginning, a year ago, I said, let's just get a BlackBerry 9900, which I got, many of you got. So BlackBerry 9900, I can't use the internet. So how's that good? So I use a Nexus 5, which gives me access to YouTube, so I can check my YouTube channel, and pretty much gives me access to anything without any kind of identification, because there is no Google ID on Linux. It doesn't exactly know who I am. And if you put a VPN on it, on top of it, then who the heck are you? So it's pretty awesome. So these are, such a great implementation of a privacy phone that we can't have right now. It's not perfect because the government can still spy on you, and you need more like a Librem 5 and probably Librem 5 will be better for actually preventing like government spying, because you can turn off the modem much more easily on the Librem 5. But for security against Google, Apple, Facebook, all of these different entities, this is good. Nexus 5. So I sell these in my store because, and as you know, many of you have bought them. I've sold a lot of these. So the problem is I can't get them fast enough. If any one of you want to sell me your old Nexus 5s, yeah, I'll buy them. Anyone with old Nexus 5, these go so fast. So if you have a Nexus 5 in good condition, go sell them to me. So because they're kind of hard to find. So if you and then for those of you who want to buy one, what I do is I install Ubuntu Touch on it and then sell to you with Ubuntu Touch. And then you get a privacy phone for now without having to wait to see where it's going to go with the Pine phone. Steven Anderson, did you do review of the Pine book yet? I don't have a Pine book, Steven. I don't have a Pine book, but the Pine book Pro is a different device, but the Pine phone is the same CPU as the Pine book. I don't know if they're actually still selling the Pine book. Sorry, wrong phone. This one. This one. I'm desperately waiting for Librem 5 unboxing and review. You'll be desperate till summer. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. 10K notice. I am actually more thinking about 11K now. Yeah, I'm close to 10.3. You're not actually. It's like a couple hundred behind. I'm actually more at 10.3, so maybe I should be doing 11K channel party here. Next weekend will be Friday will probably be 11K. The Zircon, have you seen library? It's also DHT. Yes, I installed library. I haven't done anything with it yet, and I don't know. I got to think about it because I have a few, but ADA or BTC only. I actually, huge debate. I'm only on BTC at the moment. A meaningless number of ETH, but mostly I'm on BTC in a wallet. I don't even trade it anymore. So just have BTC. Yes, BTC is kind of consolidating, and we'll see. It's probably going to jump soon. It looks like it's consolidating for a jump. You should buy the new generation of the Motorola Razr. Is cool. No, Lenny PR. Zuck. No, Lenny PR. You're not getting it. I'm not going to get any zucking Android. No zucking way. Lenny PR. No zucking Android from Google. No Google Android for me. No. As you're watching, don't forget to hit like. Yes, please hit the like button, guys. I mean, there's probably a lot of you here already. And my last broadcast, surprisingly, reached 3,000 people watched my last live stream last week, which is, kind of like reminds me of the Periscope days. I haven't gotten that. My video on the unboxing has 30,000 some views, and I believe it has it's like some unbelievable number of days of views already. It's like, I don't know, 40 days of viewing. So yes, the channel is growing so fast that it's very hard to keep up. And my latest video also is doing very, very well. So thank you, guys. I mean, I know you like to talk about phones. So let me just go back. I've given you a little bit of background here about this channel. And for those of you that are new here, but I'd like to ask you, because the problem is that this channel grew very, very fast. And it's, for those of you who have known me for 5 years, it's a little bit more tightly focused on phones than it was originally, because the algorithm doesn't feed my videos unless I talk about phones. So I'm kind of like zucked. Did you make the library comment, Houston Byte? Who made the library? I thought somebody else made the library comment. Hold on. Hello, Blake. Hold on a second. Let me just go back here. And who made the library comment? Bluetooth doesn't work. Yes, that is one of the problems with made I can't find the library comment here, and I did see it. Oh, there we go. The zircon. Yeah. Yeah, but that's not from you. I thought you made a library comment. You replied to the library comment? Okay, hold on. You're commenting about ADA and BTC, but that's not library. The zircon made the comment, but I don't know. 6ES replied. 6ES replied to library. Okay. I don't see any reply from 6ES. Okay, let me continue on. Okay, let me continue on. So anyway, the algorithm is pushing me to talking about phones, because if I don't talk about phones, no one subscribes. But I want to make clear what this channel is. If you're not here for the right reasons, then maybe you shouldn't be here. This is, and I'm not going to change this. This is what I am. So regardless of what the algorithm tries to make me, I'm not going to change what I am. This is the Internet Privacy Channel. Okay? The reason I promote these phones is because they're privacy phones. If you're here to say, well, he's here to talk about tech and learn about Linux. Yes, I do that. Because Linux is a privacy OS. It's an OS that's going to give you privacy more than Windows and Mac. But let's be clear. This is the privacy channel. So if you're here saying, well, I expect him to talk tech all day, about all, how to use this and give me tips on how to use Linux and all that, which you will see. I will do that. But there is always a point to what I do. Everything I do is focused on privacy. Okay? Everything. Even the products I sell is based on privacy. One of the products I sell, and one of the best sellers, is the Brax router. This has been popping off the shelves. I mean, it's so happy about that. But this is a Brax router. The new one says Brax router, not Brax Wi-Fi. The Brax router can be a wired or Wi-Fi network. This is based on a Raspberry Pi, so there's a Raspberry Pi inside of that. And with my software, you can run a wired network, so you can split your network so everyone in your house is on a VPN. And by default, you can use my VPN, although you can use other VPNs with it. And it's gigabit speed. So basically, your entire house traffic can be routed on these routers. And why is that important? Well, because you do not have to do anything. You basically, once you put this on your network, then everyone in your house is automatically on a VPN, and you don't have to think about it, and you don't have to worry about your data getting sold and your data leaking out from other people using your network, because it can't leak out when the VPN is on there. So that's why it's one of the most popular products I have. So that with the VPN, Bytes VPN, of course, is my VPN, which is, I think it's on this side. Hopefully I'm pointing in the right direction. There's a little delay in the video here, so I don't know where I'm pointing. So Bytes VPN is on top. I'm a proud owner of the Brax router. No complaints. Rob likes being triggered. PBP is fun for tinkering and hacking Linux. Stop getting triggered. It's just comments. Do your format. We're listening. Triggered by what? What am I getting triggered by? Do Chrome extension? I mean, I'm going to stop there. Chrome extensions are very dangerous if you don't know what they do. Chrome extensions, just by default, are dangerous because they're basically watching everything you do. Okay, I'm. Did I miss up any comments here? Okay. Chaining VPNs will probably make deep packet inspection easier. Randomly using different VPN provider would work better, maybe. Chaining VPNs. That's if you don't do that right, you end up on the same VPN. How do you chain? If you chain from the same computer, it's not going to work. In order for you to chain, you're going to have to use a different host, and then that host chain someplace else, which you can't control. So no, that's not going to work. No. The Pinebook Pro, for God's sake, triggered by noobs. I'm not triggered by anything. 13428. Okay. Let's speak again. Late 8. PvP is amazing, but Manjaro ARM. You mean the Pinebook Pro? The only thing I use in Chrome is uBlock Origin. Is it possible to make an Android phone relatively private with modification, maybe Lineage? Yes, yeah. If you use Lineage or an Android without any Google apps, yes, it's okay. But there's nothing that beats the control you get with a Linux phone, because you have full control of this. It's just, Lineage is okay for as a user, but as somebody who wants like full control, a Linux phone has some aspects of it that is just better, because you really control it. You're kind of guessing with Lineage OS, depending on the apps you use, because some apps. Here's the problem. Let's say you use Lineage OS, and then you load a app that still uses Firebase. Firebase is the API from Google, and you're not going to know that it uses Firebase directly just from downloading some app. And if it uses Firebase, then Google can still track you to some extent. Whereas on a Linux phone, there's no mechanism for you to track, and there is no Firebase, so there's nothing to do. There's no way to be tracked on a Linux phone. There's just no way. That's why it's kind of a different level. So if you ask me, then yes. Does the Pine phone have a clock battery? Well, it has to have one, Jellyfish. Does Ubuntu Touch have a built-in firewall? Built-in? No, but built-in? I'm not sure that's important, Crypto. Not sure that's important, but if you want to do it, you can go, apt get install UFW, and I mean, how hard is that to do? I mean, I'll give you the instruction right now. Sudo apt get install UFW, and then set up your firewall the way you want. Not sure you need that though. Not sure you need that, because you're misunderstanding the problem of why you get attacked. Because you're not being attacked by somebody reaching out to you. You're attacked by you sending out data and somebody's capturing the data. It's like, are you expecting somebody to actually control your computer that's what you're concerned about with a firewall. Not a concern. That's not a big deal. No, there's nothing, no app to run that will, you know, you want a firewall SSH, you can do that. You don't even need a firewall, just disable SSH. It's disabled by default anyway. Any opinion using Spectrum Mobile? I'm on Spectrum, and the less I use Spectrum, the better. You don't know how. Hey, you, all my Linux machines got hacked. Don't do that. You don't know how. Well, whatever you're doing, don't do that. Any opinion? Okay. What password manager do you recommend and why? I'm using KeePass because it's open source and it's not owned by anyone. I used to use LastPass, which I've used for many years, and unfortunately, LastPass is now owned by who owns LastPass now? The guys that make the remote control software. I can't remember right this moment. But anyway, I just felt safer without any connection to any corporate entity with KeePass, since KeePass is completely open source. So I use KeePass. So, most of them are fairly safe. I'm not too worried about them. Windows Defender coming for drumroll Linux. Why? You don't need any zucking antivirus on Linux. I don't use anything on Linux. I don't have It's a video coming up. No antivirus for Linux. Guys, antivirus is actually a bad thing. Real VNC, remote control software. You have to enable Real VNC. VNC is not enabled by default. So without a Real VNC server, it's not going to work. So this, by default, SSH, Real VNC, and all that are not enabled on the phone. So that doesn't matter. Pen and paper is the most secure password manager? No, because somebody can steal a pen and paper. No. Log me in. Yes, Jellyfish. LastPass was hacked? Nah. No, that's not what I consider a hack. No. Crypto, that's not in my, that's not my definition of a hack. So a true hack, if somebody breaks into your passwords and actually reads it. A post-it note stuck on the monitor with a password. It's a classic way to hack into dumb companies. Yes, JXC, you are completely right. So I don't do that. So yes, you don't do that, and you do not reuse your passwords over and over, because that's a guaranteed way to make sure that you will get hacked. So again, just to pause for a second here, if you have not hit like on my broadcast, please do so, because that's really important for the algorithm to kind of sense if this is a channel that's worth promoting. So I would appreciate it if you hit that like button or dislike, whatever it is you feel like doing it today. And yes, to be honest with you, yes, I've had a good amount of adult beverages. I have a penis virus. Do you know? I don't know what a penis virus is. KeePass. KeePass is spelled KeePass. So I use KeePass. Hope that cough you got isn't Corona Kung Flu from Maxilla Avenue. Huge bite. I do not have a zucking coronavirus coming from a pine phone, but I do have an allergy, and right now I'm sniffling. Actually, it's gone now. From the allergy and lots of alcoholic beverages that probably killed all the germs. 19 listeners went to sleep. No, there's a lot more. People have been in and out, so there's probably, a couple of hundred views have been in and out already. So, as usual with live streams. So that's not unusual. So fortunately, like I said, my last live stream got 3,000 viewers. The initial viewers were like 700, and then 3,000 of you came after. So that is so appreciated. Now, before I continue on, my main point really in this broadcast is to show you that, yes, this channel has way exceeded 10,000 now. Like I said, I'm closer to 10,300. Let me just verify what the actual number is. At the moment, I'm at almost at 10,250. So, yeah, by morning it'll be probably at 10,300. So the channels are going fast, and what I want to do, and I want to ask you. No, I did not wipe my phone with alcohol, Josmo. I did not do anything like that. Are Faraday cages worth anything, Savvy? The question is, what happens when you're not in the Faraday cage? So I can't answer that. I can't answer that. Yes, there's a lot of information I can get because your phone is actually sending out a beacon every few seconds. So I can identify you. If you approach my surroundings, I can identify you, and I'll write a program for that to prove it. But I can identify you just by you coming close to me with your MAC address on your phone. So yes, it does, in fact, matter. However, can you really function with a phone that's in a Faraday cage? And how many times are you going to take it out of the Faraday cage? In which case, then it kind of misses the point. So anyway, back to what I'm talking about. So yes, this channel is approaching 11K subscribers. So we're way past 10. And I don't understand why the public display is so delayed, because it's showing 10.1, even though we're beyond that. It's like 200 behind, and the number that's behind is growing bigger. Let me just see what it says right now. 10.1, and we're almost at 10.3. So anyway, what I'd like to know is, do you understand what this channel is all about, and what do you want me to talk about? Because this is the privacy channel. I mean, yes, let me just show you how many phones I have just right in front of me right now. Okay, these are not all my phones. These are the phones I have that I just pulled out for you before the broadcast. And these are not phones of my family. These are my phones. Some of them. Okay? Some of them. So, iPhone, OnePlus One, PinePhone, Nexus 5. I have more. So this is just the one that, I pulled out. So this is not about just talking about phones. The point of what I'm doing here is to say that these devices are compromising your privacy because these things are spying on you in a big way. So I want to stop that in whatever way I can come up with. And what I've come up with is that these Nexus 5s actually do stop quite a bit of the tracking. In fact, it stops pretty much all the tracking except for the government. The government continues to track you with these, but with the exception of the government, this pretty much stops you from being tracked. This is a Linux installed on a Nexus 5. There's no Android in here. I take the Android and I install Linux, Ubuntu Touch over it, and all the spying stops. You will not do that near an airport, and you will rot in jail if they get you. Lives are in danger. Have you considered talking about Cubes OS and the other privacy OSs like Unix? Yes, I have a video about it. Not too practical though. Talk about this. I just bought my first 50-inch smart TV. What should we do to protect ourselves from these smart TVs? Are you sure you're going to watch that if I talk about it? I keep up with your noob videos, but for people who are noobs, this is a lot of the lingo requires some explanation. Okay, that's a good point, Blake. Like, I talk a lot about, specific things with phones, so because that's what caused the large viewer base to show up, and the people who come in from that community already know the terms. So a lot of the terms I use is very specific to the community that came in from the phone videos. I don't know if you already made them. Yes, I already made them talking about cubes and that, and it didn't get a lot of views, so it's not super popular of a video. Elaborate on techniques the government used to monitor comms. Yes, that's already in my videos. This is my problem per Scientia ad Astra. I have multiple videos, and I did 2 parts, which was Who's Spying on Your Phone Part 1, Who's Spying on Your Phone Part 2. It didn't get a lot of views, so I don't want to do too many of them until I notice that people are actually watching them. So you see do you see my problem with the channel? People are... Let me pause here for a second. Here's the problem with YouTube. YouTube feeds you the videos based on what they think you want to click. They don't feed you a video which you haven't clicked before or have any pattern of clicking before. So if I have a privacy video saying who's spying on your phone, many of you are not perceived to be ones that will click on that video. So that video doesn't get watched. In other words, the algorithm decides what's going to be watched. And my only solution is to bring you in here through something that is commonly popular, like a Pine phone, and then hopefully you're here because a Pine phone is a privacy phone. For some of you it is. For some of you it's just fun. So if I convince enough of you that you're here because this is a privacy phone, then perhaps you'll watch my privacy videos. Unfortunately, I can't get popular from that. This is the difficulty with the algorithm. The algorithm actually decides what I'm supposed to do. So the algorithm says, we're not going to feed your videos unless you talk about Linux phones. So I'm forced to talk about it when my channel is actually about privacy. So I hope that's very clear that even when I talk about Linux phones, I'm actually focused on privacy aspects of a Linux phone. Let me just, what about SSH? Thank you, JXC. Phone topics are okay for a while, but they're just one part of the privacy issue. Yes, Jellyfish, understandably. But I have to grow, so I have to do, a bunch of those on a regular basis. I have a wireless SSD, so it's safe to transfer files from my phone inside of my home Wi-Fi network. Basically, yes. I mean, you can spot somebody spying on your home network. I built software for that. So basically, yes. So, I mean, it depends on who your adversary is. If the adversary is the government, then it's a little bit more difficult. But for most cases, yes, it's pretty much safe to transfer a file. It's not a target of hackers. Okay. Hello, Mickey Leaks. Michael, elaborate on the technique. Okay, I already answered that. Okay, so I just want to make clear what the channel is all about, and we're here to actually talk about privacy, and everything is privacy oriented. And I have a ton of old videos that already talk about privacy, but they're not getting the views because, YouTube will not feed them. So if I feed you a view on privacy, and one of the most important videos I did is in the top of the channel page, and it's about OPSEC, operational security. I wonder how many watch that. It only has like 2,600 views. I mean, if you haven't watched that, you need to watch that to give you a big picture of what it is you're trying to do here. Yeah, watch that. OPSEC, OPSEC on privacy. I have a Kodaki, but I cannot connect to the internet. You probably don't have a driver. Cat videos will get you to click. Please give privacy videos your views. They are very interesting. Thank you, AMG. So yes, watch my old videos on privacy. They may not be popular because YouTube doesn't feed them, but they're extremely useful. Because many things that I talk about are actually based on what those old videos are. And maybe I'll do them again, if maybe you don't like the way I did them. Maybe you don't like the way I talked on them because I was kind of new. So, yes, more OPSEC view. Jellyfish, nobody's watching my OPSEC. Okay, so, I'm kind of stuck here. Please hit the like button, by the way. So many of you come in and out of the live stream. Please hit the like if you're interested in if you like what this channel is all about, and that would be so appreciated because it helps the algorithm decide that the channel is a good channel to recommend. Zuck YouTube, can you link to your key older videos in the comments? The one that I'm talking about, Jonathan, is actually in a playlist. The playlist is called Privacy Topics. You should go to the playlist of Privacy Topics and just pick there one by one, and you should watch a lot of them. You really should. Privacy Topics. Not about the phones, but go to the playlist marked Privacy Topics. And you need to understand the basics, like, why am I talking about, for example, why am I talking about, these Nexus 5s with a want to touch as a solution? Because this is an iPhone, and the zucking iPhone is tracking me, and someone is selling my data. So if you went to your church, your school, your work, your supermarket, your strip bar, your gay bar, motel, this Zucker knows zucking everything. So, pretty stupid to let this thing know what the heck you do. Seriously. I don't care what you do, but why should I let Apple know what I do? Why? Do what you want to do, but why should they get involved with it? Okay, it's really simple. These things don't track you. It's simple as that. It can't be tracked. They don't have the mechanism. There's no central collection agency for tracking locations on Ubuntu Touch. There's no repository or ad company that tracks and says, I'm going to collect all the data from Ubuntu Touch and sell them. There's no company that does that. Okay? Do you understand? There's no infrastructure to even collect data from these because you're like nobodies. Nobody cares about you on Ubuntu Touch. So you want to be a nobody. You want to be a nobody. Hide yourself with a phone like this. Okay? Okay, what's the question, Crypto? How does that work if a cell modem on the device is always searching for a cell tower? That's only known, the identification of that is only known to the carrier and they already know who you are anyway, so that's nothing new. So somebody has to actively search for your exact location. Just because a cell tower knows where you are, it actually knows you within like a square mile. So to know exactly where you are specifically requires a stingray attack where somebody says, send me your GPS position. Somebody has to do a stingray attack and says, give me your GPS position, and then we'll give that. Well, unless the government is doing that, which is it's a government attack, that's not something that's mass collected. So it's a problem, but not in a sense of commercial data being sold about your comings and goings. If you're being surveilled by the government because you're a bad guy, then sorry. I can't help you. What are your thoughts on Stingray Crypto? Zuck, I have a video on that. Did you Zucking? Watch it. It's a new video. It's only like 2 weeks old. And the title says Stingray on it. Crypto, come on. Come on, Crypto. There are 2 videos to watch. Who's spying your phone? Part 1. Part 2 is Stingray. Who's spying your phone? Stingray. Part 2. And I don't even know if I want to make part 3, part 4, part 5 because no one's watching it. If you're in America, letting companies track you means they make money, and so you're contributing to your economy. Pizza-loving nerd. Come on, young man. For such a young man. I want you to get your Pine phone, pizza-loving nerd. Hopefully without any coronavirus on it. You may have to wipe it with alcohol because you're getting it on a batch. Really, with the more exposure to coronavirus. So, but pizza-loving nerd, no, you don't want to contribute to that economy. What would you say to Mark Zuckerberg if you met him? I'll be very nice to him, Mike Henry, but behind him I'll say, Zuck you, mother Zucker. But, in his presence. Actually, Mike Henry, you don't know me and you don't know my channel very well. Probably. I mean, I don't recognize your name. But if you're on Periscope, Facebook had a dedicated person, one of the execs from Facebook, one of the programming guys, watching me every zucking time I broadcast, which at times was every day, on Periscope. And somebody on Periscope and this guy from Facebook would make sure to counter anything I say against Facebook. So that's how Zuck, want to make sure he watched his enemies, and he had a guy that did that. So yes, but it's a person, Zuck. I am not here to say anything bad about Zuck as a person, but as an entity, he really zucks you up. We need a digital detox. Is Windows 10 infected with a coronavirus? Is a Star laptop better than the Pinebook Pro? Well, yes, Steven Anderson. I mean, CPU-wise, it's like 10 times faster. A Pinebook Pro is very, very slow in comparison. It should be obvious to you. A Pinebook Pro uses a modern process. A Star laptop is a brand new processor. So how do you use Facebook and LinkedIn on a phone privately? Ha! Huge debate. So says somebody on LinkedIn. Do you even have a Facebook account? I don't know, but if you have a Facebook, but you had a LinkedIn. I don't even have a LinkedIn. You probably don't update your LinkedIn, but you had a LinkedIn. Let's see. So gonna watch it teach. Can a surgical mask defeat facial recognition? Actually, even sunglasses can. Sunglasses. You have to cover a nose and eyes or a mouth. Something has to disrupt the formula. The formula is based on the computations of the eyes, nose, and mouth in in a grid. Okay. Okay, waiting for your Pine phone review. Huh? Pizza loving nerd isn't going to get one for a while because of they haven't even shipped it. Even though he should have had it already, they haven't shipped it because of coronavirus. So Pizza loving nerd is a coronavirus victim. Random is resistant. Is Zuck's up there? Yes, the zircon. The term is disinformation, which I learned from Huge D Byte. Huge D Byte is the expert. So you can see him posting on there. I've known Huge D Byte for many, many years on Periscope, and Huge D Byte is an expert on disinformation. He's way more than an expert than, definitely than me, and than anyone I know. So Huge D Byte is a absolute king of disinformation. Nexus 5 with Ubuntu Touch is pretty good. Yes, I'm using this as my daily phone. Although a Pine phone is really exciting for some of us who want to experiment, it's going to be a while to get one. So why are you leaking your data? I mean, stop leaking. Get a Nexus 5. I have 3 of them this week, which isn't much. Last week I had like 7, and I only have 3 of them this week, and I have 2 16 gigabytes, as you can see, in perfect condition. And then I have one 32 gigabyte, which I believe is also in good condition. I actually haven't checked it yet. But so we have 3 phones that I can distribute to you using Ubuntu Touch, and you can find them on rob.brax.me. And if you buy these, you support the channel, so that is so appreciated. So I wish I could have 50 of these, but they're very hard to find. I have to spend so much time each day just to find Nexus 5s. They're maybe I bought so many of them that I'm actually causing the price to go up because I'm the one buying them. So I'm buying a lot of these. What is a good dumb phone? Forget the dumb phone, Jellyfish. They're not practical. The dumb phone I recommended was a BlackBerry Bold 9900. If you want, Jellyfish, there's somebody on Brax that is selling a BlackBerry Bold 9900. He's probably on this chat right now, and that is Entire Meyer. Okay, let's see if it recovers. Okay, let's tell me. No, there's no battery issue. Okay, let's just see if it recovers here. Should recover very quickly. Yeah, internet is unstable. Stabilizing. Just looking at it right now, it looks like it's stabilizing now. Okay. It looks like we're good to go here. So this is a better way of doing it than the way I did it before. It's easy to recover. Okay. So yes, there's entire Myers back there. So if you want a Nexus Jellyfish, if you want a BlackBerry Bold 9900, you can talk to Entire Meyer over there, and I'm sure he'll be happy to sell you his BlackBerry Bold 9900, which is an awesome phone. Yeah, Mad Cow. I wasn't talking about anything related to 3-letter agencies. So usually I get a disruption when I'm talking about 3-letter agencies, but I wasn't saying anything, so it didn't make any sense. So who's using the bandwidth? Well, it's Spectrum, so blame Spectrum. Lemon D from Africa. Hello, Lemon. What time is it over there? Are you awake? Is it like morning? Okay, so signal's unsteady here. Hold on a second. Okay, signal is dropping. Have you ever thought about creating your own privacy-oriented distro? No, I don't have time for that, Crypto. Very unstable, guys. I'm just watching the very unstable. Okay, stabilizing right now. But what is the biggest feature you want out of a Linux distro? I'm not really that picky with a Linux distro. For the most part, I want consistency. So some people are saying that I shouldn't be using a Debian distro because it's more difficult than, let's say, Arch Linux. The problem, though, is that you can't think of just the distro. You got to think about the apps and the app distribution. And the app distribution is very stable on Debian. So if I want to, look for an app and I want to find out what the latest version is and what it works, Debian distros are more popular, so it's easier to find other apps. Whereas if I go to another distro, sometimes I have to recompile it, sometimes it doesn't work. I'll give you an example of this, pizza loving nerd. I had such high hopes. I had some high hopes for Postmarket OS. So Postmarket OS is very bare bones. If you get Postmarket OS, it's a very bare bones distro, and they just give you enough to work. But when you're actually looking for apps, common apps that you want to use, and since I'm a ham radio guy, to me, common apps would be looking for apps that relate to hold on here. Why did my camera disappear? The camera disappeared. Is that did it time out? Hold on a second. Did a battery exhausted on the camera? Shoot. Okay, I guess it's trying to tell me that I'm my live streams are too long. Okay, yep, battery exhausted. You can still hear me, right? So let me close it out. I guess I can't do the camera here. Let me just change the camera to. Hold on, I can change the camera. Hold on. I have to take off the tape and use my computer camera. Hold on a second here. Never had to do this before. Okay. Just give me a sec. Crazy. Okay, there we go. Okay. So the fancy phone camera died. Okay, fancy phone camera died. Okay, now I got to use the normal camera. Computer camera. Okay, so it's plugged in, yeah, but ran out of power. I guess it's using more power than it's extracting. Wow, so much disruption here. How did your phone laptop cam? Yes, this is a laptop cam. Yes, it's telling me I gotta stop the broadcast soon. Okay, let me just answer the question. What was the question again? So the battery died, yes, but what was the question before the battery died? Hold on. What was the question before the battery died? I was trying to answer it. Yeah, I can't remember what I was trying to answer before the battery died. Is there a limit on live streams? No. What happens is I have a Sony camera, a very expensive camera here, running, and it's on battery, but it's attached to a charger. But I left it on hours before. It's been running like 2 hours before the broadcast because I left it on standby, and I guess that's not good. So it drains the battery a little bit. So what I need to do is make sure to shut it off. Something to remember for next time. I'm going to shut it off when I'm not using it, so it can last for the entire live stream. Okay, regarding Arch and Debian. Okay, so let me just talk about this so I don't disrupt the conversation. So when I'm running Debian, I know that when I'm doing apps like, for example, ham radio apps, I know it works because I know that they're always in existence in a Debian repository. And when you're running like Postmarket OS, chances are it's not. Did the app maker even compile them for, upstream for distribution beyond Debian? A lot of apps aren't even distributed outside of Debian. So if you want like massive like app exposure, then you have to be considering what the distro is, not just because it's fun to use for you, but because you may not have access to the latest version or the version of the app that you want. And otherwise, you may have to recompile it yourself, which is kind of tedious if you are not an expert in Linux. So for that reason, I prefer something more stable because I don't really want to waste my time having to recompile things for apps which have a lot of dependencies. And it's not just a matter of getting the source code and compiling it. The problem is even when you do compile it, it's going to have a lot of dependencies, and it'll say 50 things are missing. Then you have to download 50 other things and then have to recompile those 50 other things to put it into the app. And such a pains. For that reason, I said, I want to, it's not about, being fancy with Linux. It's just being practical and not wasting a lot of time. I don't believe in wasting time. So I just from a stability point of view, a Debian distro is much more popular. Most of the popular distros are with Debian. So therefore, for casual users using casual apps, Debian and Debian-based things are better. And that includes Debian itself, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Pure OS, things like that. Neon, all those are Debian-based. So when I'm planning to use, like say Neon with KDE for Plasma Mobile, that is a Linux, that's a Debian distro. So that'll be better for doing Debian things. Postmarket OS has a lot of things you got to do to get even basic things running. So, so as much as I had a lot of high hopes for Postmarket OS, it's something that requires a lot of time to figure out. So for that reason, it is not easy to work with. Maybe I'll figure it out someday and make it easy for you, but at the moment it's not. Okay. So anyway, charger can't power Sony Cam. The charger is not charged. Yeah, maybe I need more batteries. So I need to buy more extra batteries so that charged up, because the charger can't charge it. So in an emergency like this, I can put a new battery in. So I need to do that next time. Anyway, when will Ubuntu Touch become a good daily driver? I'm using it as a daily driver. The only issue really is mostly Bluetooth. Bluetooth for phone calls. Otherwise, Ubuntu Touch is my daily driver. So I'm satisfied with that. I bought your Brax router VPN last week. How long do you think for delivery? It should have been there. Well, there was no delivery on Monday because the post office wasn't open on Monday. So if you contact me, I can give you the tracker number. Does Ubuntu Touch offer full disk encryption? No. I do believe in wasting time right now dealing with my Pac-Man error calls and listening. Yes, Josmo. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut this broadcast short. Not just because the battery is running down on the thing, but I have to take a bathroom break from too much adult beverages. So I will end this now, and then I have a video already made that I'll release on Monday, and then I'll which is going to be a lesson on Linux. So there'll be a Linux lesson for some of you, and it will be about learning about chroot. So I hope you watch that. I'll release it on Monday, and then we'll go in with more videos on privacy. And I'm trying to kind of get ahead here instead of falling behind on the videos. So I want to get ahead and make the videos in advance. So the one on the chroot's already made. So all I have to do is release it. So anyway, thank you for watching, folks, and I hope you hit that like button to convince the algorithm that we're a good channel. Thank you for, let me see how many we have, because I was pretty close to 10.3, which you don't see, but I see. Where are we here? Yeah, it's kind of funny that I'm not. Yeah, so I'm actually 10,244. So I should be at 10.3 to sometime early tomorrow, and then hopefully 11,000 a week from now. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, my friends. And watch out for those videos. And again, you need to watch those privacy videos, because that's what this channel is all about. You need to learn about that, because that's really important. It's the baseline for everything else. It's the reason why we talk about these phones. So if you're here because you like to talk about Linux, that's one thing, but it's really about a privacy phone channel. I just want to expose you to why it's important to think about a Linux phone. Your 70th like. Thank you. Thank you. Do I have 70 likes? I don't have 70 likes yet. It says 69. So maybe I'm not seeing it yet, but thank you for watching, my friends. And I actually have a gig in the morning, so that's correct. Per Scientia ad Astra. I actually have we're at 71 likes. I actually have a gig tomorrow morning, so I got to wake up early and do that gig. So playing a lot of music. I'm a musician, for some of you who don't know. I'm a jazz pianist, so I do a lot of jazz. So I post my jazz music on Periscope. So if you want to watch my music, you go to the Periscope app and watch me on Periscope, Rob Music. That's what I am on Periscope, Rob Music. So see you there. And I do have 30,000 plus followers over there. So hopefully I'll get, past 30,000 subs here or subscriptions here on YouTube soon, just like I did on Periscope. So thank you, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a video at the soonest on Monday. Good night.